it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.
Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie Podcast. And tonight's guest is the one and only. Well, not the one and only, because there's probably a million right? Joseph Andrades. I know. This is the one and only that I know, and somebody that's very dear to me. We've been in each other's lives since a very young age, since elementary school. And, shout out to you for remembering the Cushing Avenue School, which, now that I think of it, that was the time, because we were very much younger. I mean, at Gone School, I already knew you, right? So
right, yeah.
It makes sense.
Gone School was tough.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So my friend here, Mr. Andrade, is he's a producer of music. He has two fabulous grown children that are doing their thing, from dancing and vocalist and musician. It's Noah and Athena. They are definitely doing their thing, and I really, really enjoyed watching them, grow up. And I have the recording with Noah somewhere, and I try to find it, and I have it on a CD, and I don't know where it is, and it's somewhere, and I know it's going to happen.
Is it the performance when you had him down for that interview with the Portuguese guy? Do you remember that?
Yeah, with Mr. Miracle Miranda. And so I still have it, and I know it's going to happen. It's going to appear when I'm looking for something else. And but once I gather that, I will actually, I'm going to actually share that and put it on Facebook and YouTube, and make sure that we get it up there, because that was something special. And he's a grown man doing his thing. And that's what we expected back then. We kind of expected that he was going to blossom and bloom into what he is today. And so let's talk about something that I'm truly proud that you did, and that is Cabo Verde. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the concept and what you were thinking, how you were thinking, and why you did it.
Cabo Verde, I think, was what, 2017, I think, around that time.
Yeah.
I had already been involved in the Cape Verdean music scene a lot. So, and plus I was running the CAC, the Cape Verdean American Community Development Center in Pawtucket. So, I was thinking, how do we become part of the landscape of Pawtucket? Like, what do I need to do? What do we need to do? So what I thought about, I used my influence with a lot of the Cape Verdean artists to help with the promoting it, during the whole Facebook campaign. Basically what it was, I just approached the mayor of Pawtucket at the time, because I was working at CACD, so I kind of had that direct connection there. And told them, like, hey, we would like to see if it's possible to not so much rename, because it would take a long time. It would have to be like go through city council. I think you guys do the same thing in New Bedford or something like that. But he could just dual name it, like Cape Verde Way. So I was like, a stretch of Main Street, which is predominantly Cape Verde in that Woodlawn community, from 10 Rocks, like 2 miles up until it gets to right before downtown Pawtucket, which the last spot is like Fejou Barbosa's furniture store. And city said, well, if your community can get together and support this. So I was like, of course. So I know a little bit about marketing, so I contacted a few Cape Verde musicians, the A-listers, and everybody else. And I said, hey, if you support this, and I know that the rest of the public will support it, and they were down with it, and it happened. And the day it was happening, it coincided perfectly that the president of Cape Verde was going to be in town, and so
Mhm.
was the prime minister of Cape Verde. So the
Wow.
day that it happened, those guys were there for it.
That's
Now,
something that's special.
now we have a street like Cape Verde Way.
It's so like I go into parts of, I believe it's Wham Onset, and they have
Mhm.
Cape Bread Way,
Yeah.
and it's nice because if you look around in this community, and whether it's in Massachusetts or Rhode Island, um, Cape Verdeans are a huge part of everything that's around us, and so
Right.
it's very special that we can get something. No bigger is better, but we gotta take what we have and slowly, especially in this city, the population of Cape Verdeans, kind of, to me, it seems like it's at a low. People are venturing off and leaving the area, and it
Hmm.
seems like whenever the populations get bigger, it's
Right.
only when it's a special event, and so. But I see the numbers again extremely low in this area, and so trying to keep our feet on the ground and keep our roots in the soil because it's very important, especially this area. Um,
Mm.
you so growing up, you and I, we went through the 70s, 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
2000s. Now, um, seen a lot of things, many things.
Hmm.
Um, but I want to go back. Let's say, let's start at the beginning of your music. When did you start thinking about it? At what age? And
Um,
who? Yeah,
I think music is always been well, it's part of our culture. We know that,
yeah,
but it's always been part of my life. Like I think we all do. We all get drawn to music. Music just does something for us. Um, it wasn't until I didn't pick up a musical instrument until I'm gonna say junior high school, in Roosevelt, eighth grade. Donald Vasconcelos was the instructor at the time, so I
hmm
picked up. Time was a trumpet, and so that was the first instrument I picked up because I just had this passion for music, and from there went to New Bedford High School, played on the New Bedford High School marching band for 3 years from freshman year to junior year, and those were great times. So music has always been there for me.
yeah. The I'm gonna make an assumption, right?
Hmm.
Um, you're in the high school, walking in the D block, and you just walking, being your normal self,
Hmm.
and I bet you Mr. Vasconcelos tapped you on the shoulder to attend this class, or did you already have it?
Well, I had already had him in junior high school.
Okay, all
So
right.
when I got to New Bedford High, he had also became the music director there.
I'm
So
sorry.
it was
He
sort of
did.
like
Yeah.
part of our curriculum that we had to take a course. And so yeah, so I lucked out.
All right. So you probably did like jazz band or been part of that, some kind of production in at
Yeah,
Roosevelt. And okay, I get it. I understand now. All
yeah.
right. The one thing about that man, right, and
Mhm.
his wife, the Vasconcelos, are very, very important people and very inspirational people. I think they allowed us to talk to them, um, and just be us, right? We're just being us when we talk to them, and they always had the best interest in ourselves, and when it came to the kids. And so mentioning those names, and I don't know why either one of them haven't been on this podcast, and
Mm,
and now that you are here, I got to reach out to both of them, and maybe I can
definitely,
do tag team,
definitely.
um,
Great, incredible people.
yeah, yeah. Nathan Victor says, Mr. Vaz was or is a great man. Yes, a
Yes,
great
he
guy.
is. Definitely is.
Also, Phil McDonald, one of our friends, also he says, "Evening, gentlemen. I broke. Let's see. He says I broke off last night early. Caught the flu. Yes, and I know he's been sick. And well wishes, man. I hope you turn around and get better. Phil's another good dude in the area. So, Michael Sameo, I see you on YouTube. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate your support. And God bless. So, Vasconcelos in your life, you
Yeah.
know, it's high school was wonderful. I don't know too many days that I missed at New Bedford High School. It was very limited. If it was four, I'd be Um, that would be the closest, to it. But I don't remember missing any days at the high school. It was just a fun place to be. Um,
But I got to bring this up. That I think our class was legendary, class of '85.
hmm
I'm not sure if you remember our freshman year in the auditorium, Mr. Callan, headmaster's up there saying, I think a lot of people's grades weren't all that hot. So he was like, I want you guys to hit the books or hit the road. And as comedians that we were, we hit our books. And he took that the wrong way, which, well, what else? And I think that was like our last time until like our senior year that we could go to an auditorium function.
hmm I,
That was
you know
crazy.
what? I wasn't at the high school then. Only
Okay.
because I was began my high school in Florida because we uh
Oh, okay, okay.
we left here for a little while and then I came back,
Oh, you
and
missed out.
which is something. It was a dream to come back home. I was extremely homesick. Um, uh, and what really did it for me is I lost my great grandmother while I was down there, and I was
Oh,
unable to attend the funeral. So I always said I would never leave home again. Once I get back there, and so we came back in junior and senior year. That's when I
okay.
came back. Yep. The Yeah, we there was there's one thing about that class of '85. We got the excellence award. Um,
Yeah, sure did.
the graduation class was one of the largest that I
Right.
know of, right? Because
True.
just picture our procession, our line
Mm,
was formed. People were at the football field, and the end of the line was still at the New Bedford High School. It was just tremendous. It was just a mass of red and white, and tremendous. But I forget the numbers, but at that time it was one of the largest.
yeah.
So
I remember. Yeah.
the the we we got reconnected through social media, right?
Mhm.
For a while we didn't see each other. Um,
Right.
and After high school, did you take off and go to the service right away?
Yeah. Right after high school, we graduated in June. By September, I had joined the Marine Corps.
Okay,
I
perfect.
was gone. Not September. August, I was gone. By August, I was
Wow.
gone. Yeah.
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 The one there's one thing about the service is that I was on my way.
Hmm.
I was on my way, just like you, probably thinking that, what, I got to do something. I got to do something that's steady. Um, and that was in my focus, and that was in those were in my plans, and I was getting ready, trying to think of what service, what branch I was going to go to, and I finally came up with the U.S. Army and Sergeant Wild. I tell this story a lot. he's ready to recruit me. He says, "Hey, we're going to Boston on Monday. Gonna get sworn in." And I said, "Okay." Well, the Friday before that, um, my grandmother tells me, "Hey, a captain from the police station called for you, and he wants you to call him." So it was still early, and I called him, and they offered me a position at the police station as a police cadet.
Okay.
And I started thinking about police work, all because of Anthony Lesser, Donald Lesser's brother.
Okay.
He got me thinking about it, and so what I'm telling the story is because I had to tell Sergeant Wild from the recruiter that I'm not going Monday. I got a job, and that was my main thing. That's what I wanted,
Okay.
and so he thought he thought I was lying, but he didn't tell me until later.
Mm.
Probably about a year later, he sees me in a cruiser, and he says, "I thought you were lying to me." He said, "I thought you just didn't want to go to the army." I says, "No, I
Uh,
definitely wanted to go, and I would have went if I didn't get that phone call."
wow.
Now, back then we didn't have like an answering machine or anything like that. So
Right.
if my grandmother wasn't home, I would that probably would have missed that call, or I would
Wow.
have definitely got sworn in.
Hmm.
Because say they send me a letter, I probably wouldn't have got it for till the following week. So
Right. Right. Yeah.
the so you go into the Marines
Yeah.
now. Are you still dibbling, dabbling with music? What are you doing?
No, not so much. Marine Corps. My recruiter was a little bit not very honest in the things that he was telling me. So I went to Marine Corps thinking I was going into aviation ordnance, but now it was open contract, so I was a grunt for those 4 years.
Mm,
So
wow.
yeah, so there's no time for that, because basically seems like every 30 days we're in a different part of the world. So there's really not too much time for music or things like that unless you're listening to it or going to
Yeah.
the club. That's it.
I want to say hello to Carol Paris Johnson. How you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to hear from you. Hopefully the family's well, and God
Actually, I
bless you.
remember Carol Paris. Is it from
Yeah,
high school? Okay, okay.
yeah. That was the
That-
girl, man. She was like
Okay.
she. There was one thing about Carol is that she was gonna make you laugh within 2 or 3 minutes. There was something about her. She always had me rolling, and that smile was. She was always smiling, joking around, and now she's doing big things in the Boston area. So I'm very, very happy and proud of her. Also, you know,
Congratulations, good for her.
yeah, yeah. The so uh, no music. Got to go to hang out with Uncle Sam for a little while. How
Yeah.
how many years?
Eight.
8 years. So
8 years.
during that 8 years, you live and learn.
Yeah.
Um, did you leave any kids around the world?
No.
Uh,
My first came when I was 31 years old, and that's Noah.
all
And then
right.
the second is Athena. So yeah, no, I didn't leave any out there.
Okay, I'm just making
Yeah.
sure, man. I've been,
I was
you
like
know,
a naive, gullible 17, 18-year-old back then, 19, like,
all
nah.
right. I just wanna check, I don't
Nah, there's nothing out there.
anybody ask, I'm gonna say nope. I
Right?
know from the horse's mouth that you know, if your last name's Andrade, you're not Joseph's. All right.
Right. There you go.
The so we go through the service, and you
Hmm.
talk to me about, well, we shared experience in something that you were hired to do, and that's team up with Michael Jackson. Let's talk about that.
Let's get right to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
At the time I was living in New York. Um, rewind a little bit. I had been on tour with an artist as his set DJ, like on stage. I need Kamosi. Here comes the hot stepper, that guy. So he was working on his second album. So I moved out to New York from Providence, and he had I guess, label issue with some conference calls with Tommy Mottola didn't go well. So they kind of pushed him aside. So here I am thinking I'm going to be going on this tour. It didn't happen. So I've got to eat. So I got an agent to find me work. And part of the work was extra acting. And so they called me one day and said, hey, we've got this gig that pays $100 a day. So it was a 3-day thing. I was like, all right, cool. They were like, you have to show up in Queens at whatever time. So I show up, and first person I run to is Spike Lee. Spike Lee was the director of that. So
Nice.
Spike Lee, basically, I got there. There's like, I'm going to say close to 300 extras there. And we don't know what's with the video, so we just know the video. So now everybody's trying to guess, like, damn, who can afford Spike Lee and this? So everybody's like, maybe it's Boys to Men because they were hot back then, like that type. But then after a couple hours, they started separating us. Spike was like, the certain one is, there's about 5 or 6 of you that are going to be correction officers. We already know who you are. We're not going to pick it now. We've already picked it, told your agent. So I got moved aside. And then within like an hour, but Spike broke it down to us. He goes, when the artist comes out here, if I hear anybody talking to him, looking at him, or even making jokes, you're out of here. And we were like, who could this be? And all of a sudden, here he walks in, Mr. Michael Jackson, one and only. But it was a great experience. It was like starstruck. You got to be starstruck when it's Michael Jackson, Like, yeah, I'm a kid from born in Cabo Verde, and here I am with Michael Jackson. To me, I was like, first thing I did was I found a payphone. I didn't have no cell phones, right? I didn't have one. Called home, collect. Hey, guess who I'm with? I was like, but it was a good experience,
Yeah, back then it was still a dime, I believe, for you.
Yeah.
It's crazy how we were able to get through things and communicate, and a payphone was one of them. Pager was another, and
Pager, yes, Pagers was hot too back then, right?
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's how
right,
that
so,
happened. It was a good experience.
So mom and dad see you in the video. What was their reaction?
I think they were happy. I think they were proud.
All right.
Yeah, I think they were proud of me.
Because so old folks back then, they get mad, especially even what your hairstyle is right now, Dad might have been mad at you right back then, right?
Father was mad because I had earrings at the time too.
Yeah, see.
Like,
so
no son of mine wears earrings. I'm like, oh, I got 2 on. I'm sorry.
My grandmother saying stop playing that jungle music, and we got a lot of stuff like that, and it was crazy growing up, but I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't replace the time we grew up for anything in the world, because we got a taste of the old, and then what was becoming the new, and then now what's going on now. So that evolution was perfect for me. It was. So you go on, you get this video going. You now it's something. It's an accomplishment. You're actually,
so now I'm thinking I'm gonna be like, who is that didn't beat it? Wesley Snipes. He was one of the videos. So I'm like, oh heck, I got a chance now. I'm gonna be another actor like Wesley Snipes. That never happened, by the way.
Yeah. And so you stay in New York for a little while.
Yeah, that was right around 1996, 97. And then I had to move back to Rhode Island because I had a girlfriend in Rhode Island. And she informed me that we were expecting Noah. So that's when I moved back to Providence. I actually, back then I had started, in 97, I had started growing dreads. But, when I had to come back home and get a regular job, something that's consistent to take care of a child. So I just cut everything off again.
Hmm.
Started fresh, and I end up just here. I am. I end up staying here.
Well, just like me, I know you have no problem growing hair.
Definitely not.
Um, yeah, it's just
It grows,
it's nonstop, and I don't
right?
mind it. I don't mind it at all. So,
Mm,
want to say hello to Anthony Black. He's a DJ from Star 107 FM.
okay.
Good friend of mine. He's been on the podcast. We talked. He plays some fabulous music on Star 107 FM, which is an internet radio station, and amazing, amazing. I love his playlist. I love everything that comes out of that station. So I want to make mention of that. So the we have so you and I would travel different states, do different things from the job to personal reasons, and so now we settle back home. Now
Mm.
you're in Providence, you get getting things in order, establishing a family life, and tell me this experience about seeing your son for the first time.
It's it's a crazy feeling though, isn't it? Though,
Yeah, yeah.
like you got this little package that you've committed to for the rest of your life. Like I'm gonna love you.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take care of you. Like no matter what. Like this is mine. You know. It's just one of those incredible feelings.
Yeah, sure is. And
It is.
so it did a lot. Things are pitched, was perfect, as far as, now you're a dad, you have your son, fabulous son. Um, has a similar kind of laid back like you was when you were growing up, didn't say too much. And so now,
But actually, I got to tell you a story as to why I didn't say too much growing up.
okay.
And and part of it, I have to thank you again. Um, I came to the U.S. in 1975, September. So that first year is when I went to Christian Avenue. And being the new kid, didn't speak English well. It was rough out there. We had some very animated characters at that age, you
Yes.
know. But there was times when certain individuals would like bully me a lot, and I do remember that. I will always remember you would say something like, "Hey, nah, leave him alone." So
Mm,
I have to tell the world like I appreciate you for that. Like I was a kid fresh off the boat basically, and didn't have any friends and know anybody, and the fact that I was getting bullied by certain individuals, doesn't matter who their names are, um, but that you who didn't know me just stepped in and said nah. So that's how I will always remember you. That like that Charlie
mhm.
Perry, and I appreciate you for that.
I truly appreciate you, and I think the experience was on South Second Street, if I'm correct, the one you're talking
Well, I
about.
could, yes.
Yeah. So and the, I always did things with a purpose when I was even at that age. I always seen something, seeing things ahead of myself or what was going on, and it's crazy that I would be. I don't know. It kind of tailored me and was grooming me for what I end up doing, and which was police work. Um, and but don't get me wrong, I could have got fresh too and punky and throw that first punch all the time. It just was me, and you kind of get fed all kinds of things in growing up. Hey, your father was this, your father was that. He was a fighter. He was this, he was that. And you have his name. You got to fight like and it's like, damn, man. I want to be a lover, not a fighter.
Don't we all?
So,
Oh,
I want to say hello to Bethany. Bethany, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Always supporting the Really Charlie podcast.
nice,
Um,
nice.
Let's see. She says people will remember who stuck up for them. Of course, yeah. We and the one thing that what drew me to you personally all these years is that always a good dude, always, a good kid, good dude, and I definitely I can't think of this other guy's name, and man, I can't think of his name right now. Well, anyways,
Mm.
you were just a good dude, and I'm glad. I'm glad that I met you. I'm glad God put us together, connected us, and I hope when I got there, you didn't get anything before I got there, like beating up, punch, or anything like that. Hopefully I came just in time.
You did.
Yeah.
Good time.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad I could have done that for you, and because I see you and everything you're doing, and I just smile. The music, the videos, the um, everything. What they're doing in the community in Rhode Island, it's real special. It's and I appreciate that. We're gonna bring up this video of yours. Well, of Dennis Mata.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're gonna bring this up. Let's see. And by the way, Joseph wrote this, produced it, and also the music was also produced by DJ. What was that?
Oh no, Gene Job
Gene
and Kalu Montero.
Kalu. Okay, all right.
I don't know if you've been to 10 Rocks up in Pawtucket. Kalu is one of the owners.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
Kalu Montero. All right, that's what it was. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this video up. I'm gonna let it play.
Cool.
Yeah, just gonna add it to the stage. And everyone, check this out. It's good beat. It's Creole, so it's always good. Here we go. Oh, let's put the volume up first. Let's do that, Charlie.
Cá poder mudar quem me é, coisa que não tá a fazer, coisa que não tá a dizer, tudo depende na mim não vou. Cá poder mudar quem me é, coisa que não tá a fazer, coisa que não tá a dizer, tudo depende na mim não vou. Boe quem boe, mi é quem me é, boe quem boe, mi é quem me é. Sociedade quer fazer sem maneira, já fazer aquele com poder. Aceita-me cima minha, pensei top cima boé. Sociedade quer fazer sem maneira, já fazer aquele com poder. Aceita-me cima minha, pensei top cima boé. Boé quem boé, minha quem me é. Boé quem boé, minha quem me é. Cá tem nada mal, cês blá blá, tá fazer parte, cês dia a dia. Às vezes está a pasmar, já as pensar a rir e gozar. Cá tem nada mal, cês blá blá, tá fazer parte, cês dia a dia. Às vezes está a pasmar, já as pensar a rir e gozar. Ama pra quem boé, ama pra quem me é. Ama pra quem boé, ama pra quem me é. Boé quem boé, Mie que mie, boe que boe, mie que mie. Ama pa que boe, ama pa que mie, ama pa que boe, ama pa que mie, boe que boe, mie que mie, boe que boe, mie que mie.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
That was, I mean, just a
That was
beat.
shot in Mindelo, by the way, in São Vicente.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
You know, the Trado, I assume it was on, in Cape Verde, but sometimes you never know,
Yeah.
can't get a lot of stuff there or as far as getting people there or different things that you need. And then we end up replacing it with something else, like another island, another
Right.
Caribbean island or something like that. Um, well, I know you made it because Michelle Perry loves it. She's clapping and that's
Hello,
good.
Michelle.
Yeah, yeah. She's somewhere in the house listening and good to know. Good to know. The so you end up writing this
Yes.
and was it just to write? I mean, I sometimes I write poetry just to write,
Um.
but did someone inspire this?
Yeah. I mean, the concept behind this song is basically, I am who I am. You are who you are. Love me for who I am, and I'll love you for who you are.
Hmm.
And I wrote this one, I think, in 2000 and I want to say 2004. I think is when I wrote that song. And with Cadu Montero, and it just it stayed a couple times. I don't know. You're familiar with Juzinha? I think
Yeah.
Juzinha was supposed to be an artist who had taken it to record it, but I don't know. 10 years went by. He wasn't doing anything with it. It just sat there. So finally, a couple years back, I heard Dennis. He sings locally in the community, and he's got an incredible voice. To
Yeah.
me, he just yeah, his voice is nice. It's just it reminds me of a young version of a like Il Globe or something like that, or
Hmm.
Mini Lobe. He's like a
Yeah.
younger version of that. So I said it to him. He loved the song, and I said, well, let's make it happen. He jumped on
Mm-mm-mm.
it. Here we
That,
are.
that, yeah, I definitely, man, I can't even, just the vibe, the music, it's perfect. It's definitely the type of Creole music I like listening to with that beat, the sounds, it's just amazing. So, um, by the way, my wife says hello. Um, Philip McDonald says thank you. That was great, great vibe and uplifting song I needed today. Yes, Phil. As we
Nice.
said, we want to make sure that you get better. Also, Gail Gonzalez, and she said, beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Yes, that was
Thank
a
you. Thank
beautiful
you.
song. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
The so that's not the ending story with this song, right? Because now there's an award. Let's talk
Yes.
about that.
The song was nominated for Best World Music for the International Portuguese Music Awards, which is happening, I guess, April 12th or something like that. I want to say
Okay.
I might have dates wrong, but it's in April. And yeah,
And
he was nominated for that category.
all right, I'm gonna try to type the website up here
Yeah.
in the comment section because everyone, as you have an opportunity to vote for this beautiful song, and You have up to 6 times. 6 times you can vote. I think might be per day, but you can definitely vote. Just want to bring it up, so I'm typing up the right acronym for it. Um,
IPMA, I think. Yeah, IPMA.
yeah. Let's see. Should I put hashtag IPMA or just put IPMA.com? I don't know.
Well, I don't know how that would work. Probably just, yeah.
It's gonna go. I'll get the I'll get the link. So this is something special, and because you send that to me, and what I'm gonna do is actually share it all the time. Try to share it, once or twice during the week, just so it can get out there. Along with the video, create something. So hearing a song and then voting it. I mean, once you hear it, you fall in love with it. Just automatically go into the playlist. It's like boom, all right, there it is.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what's your next creation? What are you gonna do next?
I've got some music out there right now. I'm just waiting for responses from certain artists if they're gonna take it or not. That I think that's the toughest part, because sometimes we the writers, we get into situations where the artist will take a song and won't respond for a while. Like, we appreciate if you tell us it's terrible, it's not my style, it's good, whatever, but just give us some feedback. That's how we're able to work on what we create, either make it better or know if we need to just step back.
Exactly.
A lot of times artists don't they'll take the song, and then they won't respond for a while. So usually now I'm at the point where I give artists about full 7 days. If I don't hear back in 7 days, I'd move on to the next artist.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
It's very important that you do that. Let me see this here. The as you know, this past 2 weeks, I've been trying to put my poetry to music, and I've been doing a few things, and it goes back to what you were just saying. The reason why I'm doing this is because it's on my bucket list. I always wanted to do it. But as I ask people to try my poetry and put it into music some way, some shape or form, definitely don't know how to songwrite, but I know how to write a poem. And so I was actually thinking about doing it about a year ago, year and a half ago, really. No, it's actually longer than that. Well, my cousin Kristen Speller, she had she's been named in Grammy Awards, and she's definitely done a lot of stuff. So she said that she was going to teach me, and then she came down with cancer, and that was pretty much that kind of went out the window. And it's not a sad story because it's a sad story because she's not around, but she's leaving a mark, an inspiration, because it was something that we didn't complete. And so now I really started thinking about it again. And I still have a connection with her husband, Marvin. And Marvin is he stays he's that friendly reminder. And so I basically started, I would talk to different people and not hear from anybody, or just get fluffed off, and then I would say, well, I got to do something. I can't sing my poetry, so what am I going to do? Now, as a professional as you are, I started dibbling and dabbling with AI, because it could take my poetry and put a vocalist to it and some music, and then I could hear it. Well, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh my God, and it was kind of a reggae song, and the title of it was um Miss Lonely, right? And the reason why I wrote that, I wrote it up, and then I said, I need a little twist. So I let AI mess around with the words, and I said, well, I like that, but I'm so afraid. I just like leaving my stuff the way I write it, you know. Um, and I don't want any artificial, you know, things altering it because it has a certain feeling the way I say things, the way I write it. So, anyways, it went pretty good, and I liked it, and I said, all right. But I started doing it over and over again with different poems,
Hmm.
and which is causing me to, you know, join DistroKid. I also had a lot of stuff on Spotify, which I end up putting private because a musician had told me that if you plan on making a EP out of it, you should get it away from the public appearance right now until your album comes up, and
True.
so I did that.
Okay.
Um, so I'm sorry I didn't go to you, and but I had to do AI because I don't have 7 days. See, 7 days you waited. I get.
But
I
no,
start to.
Charlie, like when you poems are actually lyrics without the
Yes.
music.
Hmm.
That's like when if you take out all the music from my lyrics and you can just read it, it's a poem. It
Yeah.
flows like poetry. And I think what you're doing is a great idea. I do recommend that maybe step back, may I? Just get a couple musicians to give you like some little acoustic instrumentals and do
Hmm.
your poetry, speak over it like a spoken word, and just
Yes.
watch your cadence to the flow of the music. And I think it'll be incredible.
I did it a couple of times. I'm actually going to do something on Sunday on a Frequency Live podcast.
Okay.
Berto Carter suggested that I do something, so I'm going to do it.
You
And
should definitely.
I really feel I definitely agree with what you're saying because with music it really gives me a nice flow,
Mm,
and it allows me to, and it's similar to dancing, but the only thing is I'm giving a spoken word, and
right.
I truly like it. um it actually controls my voice, if that makes any sense, right?
Right.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
can, you're reading a poem and it's a b c d da, 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 da. But now with the music, a b
Yeah. Your
c
rhythm, the fluctuation of your voice, your pause.
d, and
Yeah.
you step back and then you read it
Back.
again. See, and that's what I like about what music does for me, and it gets me to write. Um,
Hmm.
with your music, I'm definitely going to be inspired. Um, and now I know I told you a few weeks ago. Uh, I took Creole classes, but I didn't. I did okay, but you know what?
Yeah.
I got to do some more. That was only the beginning stage. So
Keep doing. Keep
so
doing.
now, as I look at your music, I'm gonna have to get some translations
Okay.
and do that, and
Yeah.
because and this leads to this, right? I can listen to your music, and that might be the best thing for me to kind of hear the pronunciations of Creole words and stuff like this,
Okay.
which leads me that brings me to Sydney Portier. He learned English through the radio,
Okay. I didn't know
and he
that.
was
Okay.
always listening to it, and that's what got him to be um, very. He started speaking English and going to school and so on and so forth, and it was just amazing,
Mm.
amazing. So the all right, let's go. Let me see. Let's check out this time. All right, this is it's going to be a perfect question for you, as I ask all my guests. Um, Joseph Andrade, who would you like to see on the Really Jolly podcast?
Celebrity or common person?
Anybody. Some people may be out of reach for me, but at least you said it, and I don't. But with my guests have always led to another guest coming on, and so that's why I asked this question, because you may say your own son, you may say your own daughter, you may say have them on as a tandem. I'm gonna already do that, because they, if they want to do that, they can come on. But I want to hear it from you.
I'm gonna say Donald Vasconcelos.
Perfect. I will work on that as soon as tomorrow.
Yeah.
I will work on that, and only because some of his colleagues have been on here.
Okay.
And why not him? Why not him? I don't know how tech savvy he is, but he better get with it, because we got to have him on it. We got to have him on here.
Nah.
All right. We got another hello to you. And that's it. The man of many stories.
Yeah.
Paulo Paris, he's
Paul and I had an astronomy class.
Oh yeah?
High, yeah.
Well, the only astronomy I know he looks at, likes is
yeah.
I know. Only Paul, good dude. We
definitely good dude.
Yeah, we
I spent some time with his cousins. I for her Cesaria Evers' final North American tour. I was her road manager, and a couple of the drummers are related to Paul Paris.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
Midaka and Kao Kapadish, two of the percussionists, were related to Paul.
Nice. That's good to know. We a lot of us have taken off and went different places and met many people. And to me, 5 years away from this area was good for me. It was hard, stressful, because, I never wanted to leave home. Really never, ever wanted to leave home. And so we did it for 5 years, 3 in LA and 2 in Florida, and then come back home. The best thing I could say about leaving here is the culture shock I was able to get in different places and live and learn from many, many different cultures. And just because you were blonde and blue eyes doesn't mean that you're not a Mexican, right? I've seen that firsthand.
Right, correct.
Just because you're dark doesn't mean, that you're African American. You could be coming from all over the world. How about this? Just because you're brown and you have dark, long hair, doesn't mean you're Mexican, but you could be Native American.
True.
Just because you're a little lighter in the skin and have some Asian features doesn't mean that you're from China. And I've seen all that, learned all that. Just because you have some Hawaiian or Polynesian features doesn't mean you're Hawaiian, but you could be Samoan.
Right.
And I've seen all that. Just because you spoke Spanish doesn't mean you were from Puerto Rico, but you could be from Dominican, or you could be from Cuba.
Right.
And I learned all that. And then once I came back home, man, it made me such a better person.
Mm.
So I I I thank God for my travels, but those are troubling times. I've done a lot of things during that time, and within those 5 times,
Mhm.
I thought about suicide twice.
Okay.
So I was going through a lot, and it's just crazy. So, and I'm pretty sure you had learned a lot, Paul. Paul has learned a lot. He mentioned something about you can get some kachupa in Germany.
Really? Where in Germany?
Yeah,
Where in Germany? Probably getting MRE in Germany. What's he
yeah,
talking about? Cuba, MRE,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah. I won't doubt him. He's probably gonna he's gonna
Right?
type an address right. What's he? All right. What's he
Huh.
say? He'll be there.
Means. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
That.
So, anyways, so your guest will be Mr. Vasconcelos, and I am gonna reach out to him. I'm gonna definitely talk to him. Please keep me informed about everything and anything you're doing.
Definitely, I will.
Um, and I'm always trolling your page anyway. So, if
I appreciate you passing me on, by the way. Thank you.
no, this was something that I really been trying to do, and I'm glad we finally got connected, and it happened. It happened real quick, thanks to you, and I'm so appreciative of this because a lot of people tell me, maybe before the summer, maybe in the winter,
Mhm.
but I really truly appreciate it. Um, Trying to get a few other people on, talk about some Cape Verdean experiences of late. So got to reach out to them tomorrow also. And
Yeah.
Mr. Vasconcelos, we are definitely going to get him on. And so, um, everyone, thank you on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook for joining us. Thanks for the fabulous comments, the interaction with myself and my guest, Joseph Andrade. And don't forget about his song. And, we definitely want to make sure that we end up voting and doing the right thing.
Thank you.
Um, um, this is very, very important that we end up, getting this song um, awarded only because it comes from our good friend, you know, and it's definitely a special song. And I hope that it's playing every single day. And I hope you guys are voting every single day.
Thank you.
Um, so why don't you do me a favor and give your kids a message? And if they want to come on the Really Charlie podcast, we will
Okay.
definitely make that happen. And meanwhile, I'll be trying to work on that CD
That.
or
If you
DVD
need
with
anything
the.
from me on it, just let me know. I'm a call away, a text away, whatever you need.
Oh, I I I I do. I appreciate you, and when I'm in your area, I gotta definitely touch base. You know, my wife's got me going in that direction a lot, so I'm gonna make
Okay.
sure when we're around there that we at least hook up. Even if it's a quick, you know, 10-second hug, man. I like to
Yeah.
do that. So,
Yeah. We'll do that.
all right, all right, everyone. This is my friend Joseph Andre, the great guest, and please like and subscribe to the Really Charlie podcast channel. Also, share this podcast on Facebook, on any social media that you're on. Please share it. It's very, very important because you never know. You never know who Joseph may inspire and uh and get them to write and do some music. So, all right, man. Take care, and
Thank you, Charlie.
I'm
Appreciate you,
gonna
bro.
thank you with all my heart. You
Definitely.
mean more to me than a friendship. You're family to me, and I love you.
Love you too, bro.
Paul says, I love you guys. We'll definitely be sharing. All right. Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Please. All right, let's end this show with my favorite song. God bless everybody, and I will
Take care.
see you next Tuesday. Take care.
It's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.